101 civilians and 31 security personnel were killed, over 30 others taken hostage, a deadly infiltration of over 300 militants, and a massive defense failure. This was the fate of Israel's kibbutz, which was met with on Hamas's October 7th onslaught. Now, in the afternoon of the day of the Hamas attack, residents of kibbutz were stranded to fend for themselves. The cross-border infiltration that became the worst attack on Israeli territory stunned the country's underprepared army. With multiple military failures, the terrorists moved from home to home, brutalizing and massacring the civilians. Now, on Thursday, the Israeli military presented its probe into the attack that destroyed at least 125 homes. The major failure is shouldered on Tel Aviv's military's southern division, also known as the Gaza Division. Major General Mickey Edelstein, who is the former commander of the Gaza Division, uncovered all aspects of the horrific attack on kibbutz, and it concluded that the Israeli Defense Forces failed to protect its residents. The reasons are twofold. One, the Israeli military never anticipated a multifaceted attack on not just its civilians but also military targets. The second, the military prepared for single intrusions which limited the troops from tending to kibbutz amid multiple attacks. The report suggests that the Gaza command that a detailed prompt about the attack, including the number of infiltrators, the area to come under attack, the nature of the assault, and even the kidnapping of hostages, that too in exact numbers. However, the local security body of the kibbutz was not warned about the attack in time. The probe alleges that the IDF had difficulty in controlling the situation during the early hours, and then due to a lack of command and coordination, a large number of troops gathered outside kibbutz rather than fighting the infiltrators, a finding that has also been confirmed by residents. Some troops were asked to wait outside the kibbutz and evacuate civilians, while the others who went to fight later stopped to withdraw wounded soldiers. By evening, commanders lost more time in briefing troops to avoid opening fire on their own people. Some cases also point towards troop misbehavior, where they intentionally step back from protecting the civilians in the face of rocket attacks. In fact, the bravery of the local security and residents who managed to hold fort for several hours has also been identified in the probe. Tactical failures also surfaced as part of the investigation. The barrage of 3,000 rockets that were fired across Israeli territory resulted in the Israeli forces completely ignoring the kibbutz, which was also under attack. Now, for the first 7 hours of the fighting, just about 13 IDF soldiers and 13 local security personnel were involved in the defense against Hamas. Wounded soldiers were given priority of evacuation over residents, which mounted the civilian death toll further. Now, in the early hours of October 7th, hundreds of Hamas members activated Israeli SIM cards, a clear indication of a possible invasion. The warning was ignored because of Israel's over-reliance on their technology. The military also dismissed the warning as quote-unquote a drill. Here's a breakdown now of the Israeli troop numbers compared to the number of Hamas militants. Throughout the course of the attack in kibbutz, the Hamas attack began at 6:30 a.m. on the 7th of October. There were over 20 militants from the 11 local security troops at the hour. By 9:30 a.m., the first 13 soldiers of Israel's Air Force arrived at kibbutz. By 11:30 a.m., the Palestinian civilians began entering Be'eri and went on a looting spree. They were followed by 2 additional Hamas units entering the territory. Until 1:30 in the afternoon, there were just 26 Israeli defenders against at least 340 fully armed terrorists. By 1 p.m., General Barak Hiram, the commander of the 19th Division, was asked to mobilize the Be'eri, who finally reached the kibbutz at 4:15 p.m. in the evening. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.